fall in profits. Let's get more now on all of this with Patrick O'Brien. He's lead retail analyst at Verdict Research, with us in the Gherkin, pleased to say. Patrick, a bigger fall in retail sales than many had expected. We all knew that things were looking shaky on the high street, but can we really blame this all on the weather?
Well, I think we can blame a lot of it on the weather, especially on certain sectors, clothing especially, and gardening, which has had its second successive appalling spring in terms of weather. That's really affected it. Now, with clothing, the shops will have stocked up, put out all their spring clothes there, hoping that we're thinking about our summer holidays and that we're going to buy, but the weather's so cold, that's the last thing on our minds, to be honest, and those just haven't sold at all.
But does this mean that we are going to see things swing back come April, May, when the weather has actually improved? Because if it is the weather, then surely that's just temporary.
Well, I think there will be some lost sales, but yes, we should see some bounce back, especially in clothing. Maybe not so much in gardening, where we might have missed that planting season, for example. But in clothing, we would expect to see some benefit coming through in April and May, yes.
Debenhams is an intriguing one, isn't it? Because what we've seen there is store sales falling, internet sales booming. Have they got the right mix here? Or again, is this something we can blame on the weather?
Well, Debenhams is quite a solid outfit. It's still very profitable. Its profits have taken a hit, but its revenues are still increasing. Now, its like-for-like sales, they said, were increasing by 3.9% in the UK, but that was really completely boosted by its internet sales, which were up 46%, which from a low base is still staggering growth. Now, that was factored into that like-for-like sales, so actually store sales actually shrank because it was dominated by those online sales. Now, the question is, are those online sales dependent upon those stores for their existence? Are people using the stores to look at the goods and then buying online, or are they using the stores to go and collect the goods? If so, then those stores are important and it can continue its expansion. But if not, then it really brings into question their strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, the share price is up quite sharply on the back of these results. So do investors think that actually Debenhams has got the right mix when it comes to strategy for the future?
I think they do. I think they look at those results, but also at the positive comments that they've been making today to the city, and I think that they do have a plan in place. They're very good in terms of their private label offering. Their designers at Debenhams has been extremely successful, and that's given them some room in terms of margin. And I think there is a lot of optimism about how they will be able to continue in the second half.
Patrick, great to get your insights on this. Thanks very much for joining us here at the Gherkin. Companies, meanwhile, that offer quick house sales are to be investigated by the Office of Fair Trading. The move follows fears that customers are receiving thousands of pounds less than their property is worth. The OFT has contacted 50 companies for information on their business models. These generally offer sellers quick deals, but at a much reduced market value. The watchdog says vulnerable homeowners could be misled into selling their homes and losing out on large sums of money. Talking about losing large sums of money, shares in Apple are down to a